Hello everyone and welcome to the VidaBox training video for the My Movies collection management tool. In this video we'll go over how we can add a new title by name or manually entering the information. We'll show you how you can add or delete extra discs onto a title or entry. We'll review how the cover art, plot description, and other info about the movie can be customized. Finally, we'll go over how to use the management tool and associate movies to UNC storage paths. First, let's start up the My Movies collection management tool by going into Start, All Programs, then My Movies, and then Collection Management. In a few seconds, you'll see the collection management interface pop up. Let's add the first title by selecting Add Titles in the upper left-hand corner. A window will pop up with tabs on top as different options for adding in the movies in your collection. Let's start by adding in a movie by title. Click on the By Title tab. There's an entry field where you can punch in the movie title name, a drop-down box for the data source set country, and another drop-down box where you can select the type of disc your archive is made from. Say if I'm trying to find the entry for my 2-disc Terminator 3 DVD set. I'll type in Terminator, select DVD, and then hit search. In a few seconds, it'll come up as one of the entries so that I can select it and then click Add Online. A new Browse for Folder window will appear so that I can find my movie across the network. Now, one note to make clear is that all movies must be referenced across the network. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. Once you've picked a movie folder, we can click on OK and then click on Add to Own for Keeps. The VidaBox will automatically download the cover art, plot information, etc. Now if we go back into Media Center and refresh, you'll see that you're all set. Now as you can see, there's supposed to be 2 discs in this collection. So when you click on Watch, the movie comes up with disc 1 and 2. Say if you don't want the extra disc to be stored, you can delete them in Collection Management. Let's go back to the tool. Find the icon for discs and click on that. You'll see now that disc 1 is tagged correctly with the movie that was archived. Disc 2 is the extra disc. To delete it, simply highlight the disc and hit the red X. Then hit OK. To confirm your changes, click on Save Title. And when we go back into Media Center and refresh it, you'll see that there's only now one single online disc, so that the disc 1 and 2 options won't show up. Now say if I want to change the cover art. Let's go back into the Collection Management tool, and on this entry, we'll click on Select Front Cover. A browser will now appear, letting you navigate to where you stored your cover art that you want to use. Let's pick a picture that I downloaded from before. This picture can be a JPEG, GIF, bitmap, PNG, or TIFF file. So you can make your own cover art if you wanted to. Once you choose the one that you want, click Open, and then click Save Title. Let's go back into Media Center, and you'll see it get updated on the interface. So that's pretty much it for cataloging existing titles manually and how you can remove extra discs. Let's say if you want to add a homemade video to the collection. Let's go back into Collection Management. Click on the Add Titles button, and then click on By Manual Typing tab. First, there's obviously no UPC or EAN barcodes, so let's check the box to enter the movie without one. Then we can punch in the name of the movie title, say, for my Hawaii vacation. From here, we can then now click on the Add Online button so that we can link to the movie that's stored on the server. Now, I stored it under the DVD Hawaii Vacation folder, so let's pick on My Movies so that the system will be able to scan across the network. Now, to reemphasize, you can't reference a movie by its drive letter, and it must be referenced across the network. Drive letter references are only valid for one particular machine, the server where the movie is stored. So if you use a VidaBox extender to try to watch that same movie, it's not going to find that movie on a drive letter since it doesn't exist on the system. So you have to reference it across the network. This is what's called referencing it by its UNC, or Uniform Naming Convention path name. So once we've picked on the folder, we'll click OK, and then choose Add to Own for Keeps. And it'll be tagged correctly. From here, we can add and change the description. Summer vacation. I will type that in. I can select my front cover art for that as well. I can also add in other information if I choose to. Once I'm finished, we can click on Save Title. And you'll see that the title was updated is indicated on the lower left-hand corner. Let's go back into the Media Center menu. And when we refresh the interface, you'll see that the new movie entry now appears correctly. So let's do the same thing for another DVD set that I have. Let's go back to the tool. We'll click on Add Titles. Check the box, punch the title in, and click on Add Online. Once again, I'll click on the My Movies folder for my particular server so that everything can be scanned across the network correctly. Now once the server shows up, we'll pick on the correct My Movies folder and choose the first disc that's going to be in my baseball collection. We'll pick the first disc that's in the collection, click OK, and then choose Add to Own for Keeps. Now when we go back into Media Center, you'll see that the entry is now added. So let's add in now the second and third discs onto the collection. Since I have multiple discs, let's go into the disc section by clicking on the Add Discs icon. Since I have 3 discs, let me add in number 2. I'll change the location type to Online Folder. And then once again, the Browse for Folder window appears. In general, the scans are pretty fast, but it all depends on the number of systems that you have in your network. We'll choose the second disk, click OK. Now we add in a third disk, do the same thing, change it to Online Folder. Once again, the options pop up. We'll choose disk 3, click OK, and so on. From here, I can also change my cover art. I can change my description as well. Once I'm finished, I can click on Save Title. And when I go back into Media Center now and refresh it, you'll see that everything's set up with the cover art and the plot description. When I click on Watch, you'll also see that all 3 discs are readily available. So that's pretty much it for how to add and customize movies using the My Movies collection management tool. If you'd like to learn more about the My Movies or other VidaBox functions or our systems, please visit our website at VidaBox.com or give us a call. Thanks for watching.